This isn't gonna end well for you, is it?
There should be a Lifetime series called Surviving J-Lo at this point. Another tweet, she just
It would
shot
match
a movie
Diddy,
on
wouldn't
high
it?
school.
Let's talk about how all of her husbands are Leos. Very strange. Not all of them, but first one and the second one are both Leos, and she's a Leo. But anywho's, actually, is Ben Affleck a Leo too? I think he is too. Jesus.
Everyone has a terrible story about J-Lo.
Pause.
Because it's the juice. And if you don't have the juice, you don't have it. So if you don't have the juice, you can't capitalize.
Fill the room with the juice. That's a lot of loot. That big fire. Yeah, she kinda.
How funny is it? In my last video, I talk about how Jennifer Lopez is mean, or she was mean to one of my friends. And then I see this video, Jennifer Lopez is the most rude and entitled celebrity ever. J-Lo is mean. I have heard this from multiple people. And I have never even met this woman. I don't even know what the energy is, but every story, well, I've heard only two, well, actually, no, I've heard 3 stories, but the 2 stories that I know are like facts, because I trust these people. It was almost like they were, like they had this energy about it. Like it wasn't like, and you know what? I'm going to say this, and this is going to hurt some people, but Zendaya is also in that category. Yeah, I know there's some people that are going to completely roll their eyes at that, unsubscribe, and be very upset, but I've also heard that about Zendaya. Now, I don't know if that's true, because this is just, me hearing from other people that have met them. But I find it interesting because this has been a story for a while, but I just don't think people cared, if that makes sense. Like, meaning she was a diva, right? Like she's always had like this diva quality when people work with her. But I am very curious and excited to hear the details of what this can be. So thank you for creating this video, and it will be linked below. But if you are brand new here and you're just now seeing me for the first time, my name is Pearl. We do reaction commentary videos over here. If that fancies you, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Now let's get into this, because let's hear all of them. I want to know more. I want to know more about Miss J-Lo. I'm so excited. But I will say this. I'm still going to listen to her music, okay? I'm just going to say that, because I don't want people thinking like it's just a witch hunt for J-Lo and I'm not listening to I'm Real and I'm not listening to I'm Glad and I'm not listening to my childhood. I'm still going to listen. Okay, let's go.
Jennifer Lopez is the rudest celebrity ever.
J-Lo, why are you suddenly talking so much? When she has drivers, the number 1 rule she has for them is...
Pause. We got to go back.
Jennifer Lopez is the rudest celebrity ever.
J-Lo, why are you suddenly talking so much? When she has drivers, the number 1 rule she has for them is they can't look at her.
J-Lo was just straight up a mean girl. She was probably the rudest and the biggest diva.
Told a salesperson to stop looking at her and to turn the other way. She will go out of her way to make sure you get fired.
She's like this cold ice queen.
Ellen DeGeneres
Jennifer
all over
Lopez
again.
is known as Judy from the block, but there's nothing about her that represents the block or the Bronx or anyone with a decent moral compass. J-Lo is the most rude and entitled artist in the entertainment industry. Everyone from former staff, fellow celebrities, servers, flight attendants, nannies, everyone has a terrible story about J-Lo.
Pause. So in the documentary that the commentator did of Jennifer Lopez, like when she was marrying that one guy from, I think he's from Mexico or something, I can't remember, but her first husband, when she was breaking down what happened with that, like, meaning, for those who haven't seen the video, it is a long video, so if you don't want to watch it, let me just do a quick synopsis here. So basically, she hired her ex-husband, to run her restaurant, and I guess they had an agreement that she wouldn't fire him after a certain amount of time, or like she would always like take care of him, help him, whatever. But I guess like Ben came into the picture and was like, no, like I need you to like fire him. And so she did, but she fired him without warning. And basically like he was really upset about it. But her husband prior to that, also, let's talk about how all of her husbands are Leos. Very strange. Not all of them, but first one and the second one are both Leos, and she's a Leo. But anywho's, actually, is Ben Affleck a Leo too? I think he is too. Jesus. Okay, anyways, she's obsessed with herself. And basically, the second husband also didn't like that the ex-husband was working at the restaurant, but she didn't fire him at that time, because obviously I think she had like, she was wearing more of the pants in that situation. But when she got with Ben, she ended up firing the ex-husband. And not to say it was Ben's fault, but I'm just saying like it was around that time. And I just found it really, really interesting how she went back on her word. And then I was listening to, is it I'm Glad? I can't remember what song it is. I can't remember from the top of my head. But there's a song where she's like, effing finally. She's like, effing finally. Like that she's in love. And it hits so differently hearing the song after watching the documentaries, because you're like, What do you mean you finally in love? Like, were you not in love the first time you got married, the second time you got married, the third time you got married, and then of course you got the fourth time? Then you I guess that didn't work, and then now you've been again. So it's just like it's interesting when you're looking at it from the lens of what I wasn't looking at it prior. So I was just watching it just like, oh, I'm watching this because J-Lo is involved with Diddy. But I wasn't watching it because it was like, oh, everyone hates J-Lo right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that happened after the Diddy thing, or I should say in between, in the same time. Anyways, you know what I'm saying. But I find that very, very intriguing.
And she can't explain her way out of this one. So let's get into it.
Okay, let's get
If
into
you aren't
it.
subscribed to the Let's Get Into It podcast, then you're only getting half the tea. For longer videos, deep dives, and of course, more of me, subscribe to the Let's Get Into It podcast listed in the description below. Lately, everybody's been talking about Jennifer Lopez and how she isn't
She
as
look
great
mad right
as she
there.
probably thinks she is. I made a video talking about her music career and how her songs
you
aren't
did.
even hers. It isn't her lyrics,
not.
and it isn't even her vocals
haven't
on
been
these tracks.
for a
So I
long
think people
time.
are really starting to see J-Lo for who she is. I mean, she invested all this money into a documentary to prove her love with Ben Affleck because it isn't genuine. Nothing about her is genuine. And now that people feel safe to share their stories about J-Lo, there are a lot of people coming forward and a lot of moments from her
I wanna
past
hear
that
it
are
all.
being brought up again. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about those.
Let's.
Like in December 2022, Jennifer Lopez fans shared their rudest encounters with the star. One saying that she had cussed her out. Now, it became a viral trend on
Really?
TikTok to share your
Also,
encounter
congrats on 1 million freaking subscribers. I just saw it right now. Amazing.
with Jennifer Lopez, which I think is such a red flag. I mean, if there's a viral trend of people sharing their story times about how they had met you and you were a terrible person, then that kind of speaks for itself. One person claimed that J-Lo had cussed them out when they were working at a store, and J-Lo was trying to find some shoe sizes that would fit her twins. Another woman revealed that she was working in a house
why?
as a
Why
maid
was the
when
cuss
J-Lo
out
came
there?
to stay there. She said that the nail artist was called in to give the star a pedicure in bed. Ooh, she wants the J-Lo treatment.
Oh, nice.
However, the nail artist had to do it upside down because J-Lo was lying on her stomach and refused to roll onto her back. Okay, J-Lo, give me a break.
Pause. That can't be real. That can't be real. Are you serious? That's not even like, that's past. That's like, how can you not be courteous enough to that at that point I'm thinking of royalty, maybe somebody, the Queen of England, Princess Diana, I don't know, like, but even then it's also like, do you not have any human decency? You wouldn't roll on your back? This isn't going to end well for you, is it?
Other horrific stories about J-Lo's alleged bad behavior include her rolling up her window when a young fan tried to say hi at a stop sign and not wanting others to make eye contact with her. Ooh, that gives me very much Ellen DeGeneres vibes. Like, why can't
I
we look at
just
you?
said it.
I mean, do you not have a soul for us to look into?
Jennifer Lopez is the rudest celebrity ever. For years now, people have shared their negative interactions with the celebrity, but lately people are speaking up more than ever before, as literally every single influencer has a bad interaction with her, from Trisha Paytas.
She said she had to be on a certain size, so she's like this. But
Pause. You know what's interesting is that girl I was talking about that has met Jennifer Lopez, and she said like how mean she was, and like she got the picture, and when I was editing, I was looking for the picture to post it, and I was gonna call her and be like, girl, where's that picture of you and J-Lo? And then I realized, I was like, yeah, you took that down because you didn't like your interaction with her, so you're probably like, yeah, I'm not gonna post this because like, who cares? Like, she was mean to me and it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody would do that, but the person that I'm talking about, I know she would. Like, I know she would be the kind of person to be like, no, like, J-Lo was mean to me, so, like, no, I'm not gonna have a picture of her on my Instagram, like, in any sort of supportive way. Hell no.
I'm also like this, so we're just whatever. And then at the end of it, she's just like, don't touch me. And I was like, I didn't even touch
Oh my God.
She asked me maybe put my hand on her. I don't think I did, though. I think this was like after Britney Spears, where I knew not to touch. But she just went, don't touch me. And then just like left. And I was like,
Oh my God.
That is the most tourist thing.
Have you ever met a celebrity that you just absolutely hated?
I did not love delivering coffee.
I'm
sorry, and I know-
I had a good experience with that.
and a lot of people have had good experiences with her, but a lot of people have also had not
No,
good
no, no.
experiences.
Interesting. I'm glad everyone's speaking. I want to know.
with her.
She picks and chooses.
What's
And not to
the
mention
tea?
there was a
What's
clip
the
of her saying go
coffee?
into her assistant's hand that started going viral, which only made the allegations about her more believable. So here you go.
Pause.
I think one of the reasons why people get tripped
spit?
up on Jennifer Lopez is because she's worth $400 million. She's from like the Bronx
is?
and made it out of the Bronx, and now she's a big time celebrity. So
400
shouldn't she be super, grateful and
know.
humble? I mean, we see people like, I'm not trying to say I'm a Cardi B B fan. But Cardi B, she's likable because you can tell she's very grateful for everything that she has. Jennifer Lopez doesn't have that. One person wrote on Twitter that there is a trend with people telling their stories about the rudest celebrities. Can you take a wild guess who's getting dragged the most? This person replied, my guess is J-Lo, which tracks because the more people she treats rudely, the flatter them notes get when she sings them. At this rate, she'll be rapping by age 50. Another person wrote, I saw one with J-Lo in which she takes Ben's $100 tip he left for the waiting staff and replaces it with a $5 bill.
Oh, stop it. Oh, stop it. I really thought I was coming into this video with just like some, yeah, she was mean to me and like, yeah, she wouldn't take my picture. Yeah, she wouldn't give me an autograph. That is diabolical. That's the word of the day for me today. I've been saying diabolical all day today. That is so, that's like, what are you gonna do with that $90? You know what? Let me shut up, because that's just, I didn't even know people did stuff like that. I can't even think of anyone that's ever done something like that. Maybe Kendall. Is it Kendall Jenner? I don't even think she did that. I think she just didn't tip well. But to see a tip that's already there and then to discount it, take it, change it. Wow. And you 400 million? That's pitiful. I'm sorry. I'm really tripping on that. Just because I know like tips are so needed, especially in America. It's like, it's a part of the culture. Like you got to tip. You have to tip.
Another person writes, there should be a Lifetime series called Surviving J-Lo at this point. Another tweet, she just shot a movie at my high school last year, and one of my old teachers claimed that she was the only actor that wasn't nice and wouldn't even talk to the students. This person wrote, I'll never forget when Jenny from the Block came out and she went to the Bronx in a limo and would not get out of the car to meet the tween girls screaming out her name. Ben, the first time around, got out and met with fans. So it doesn't even seem like Jennifer Lopez had a great relationship with her fans from the beginning. I mean, even when she was starting out her career, which most celebrities aren't like that. I feel like you don't usually get far when you're rude to the people around you, but right. J-Lo has been able to finesse a career. This person writes, it makes me think of the clip where J-Lo walks to her childhood home and tells this hero that she grew up in the home, and he's like, who's Jennifer Lopez? Here's a clip of that moment.
I remember that.
I used to live here. Huh? My name is Jennifer. Yeah, I used to live and then my room was upstairs right there. Jennifer Lopez. Who's Jennifer Lopez? Me. I used to live here.
That guy could care less.
And what's funny is he said, who's Jennifer Lopez? And she said, me. That still doesn't clarify who Jennifer Lopez is. Like, okay, you're Jennifer Lopez, but who is that? Who are you? I'm sorry. That's just great.
She was, but this person wrote, every time I go to LA and ask the studio workers who's the worst person to come into the lot, they all say her name. Years ago at the Beverly Hill Mall, I asked a sales clerk who was the worst, and they said her name. She is the worst. This person wrote, I used to go to Caesars in Vegas twice a year for work. Always went to their spa. The lady said Britney was lovely and all please and thank you, ma'am. And J-Lo was hated with the heat of 1,000 suns. Ooh, a little Britney Spears comparison. This person wrote, a few months ago, there was a story where she brought in a bunch of dancers to audition to be her backups on tour. They spent hours doing unpaid auditions. Then she asked if any of them were Virgos and dismissed any who said yes.
I remember that.
She's the worst.
I think my friend told me about that.
Can you imagine like not being hired because of your astrology sign? Like, girl, there's not even like, we could go on and on about that. Maybe that makes sense. Maybe she's using the stars to plan her next move, and that's why she is where she's at. But really, this is a problem for J-Lo because she has been accused of being rude to servers and staff many times. Jennifer Lopez does not come from wealth. She was raised in the Bronx by her father, a computer technician, and her mother, a homemaker. However, her humble beginnings apparently did not instill a sense of humility in her. For years, many servers and staff have reported that J-Lo is tough to work for. She has numerous rules, and there are several accounts of her rude behavior. Let's talk a little bit about her drivers, because J-Lo is on the go. She has to have plenty of drivers to take care of her, and they haven't had the best times with her.
I think it's weird that celebrities don't drive, or at least want to drive at some point. I would.
For example, in 2022, there was a woman who went onto TikTok to claim that J-Lo is rude to her drivers, which I feel like drivers are really important people. I mean, of course they are. They're there to get you to one place safely. Why would you want to be rude to someone who has pretty much your life in their hands? Right. This TikToker claims her father once worked for a company that J-Lo often hired to provide drivers and says that her dad would refuse to drive for J-Lo after hearing stories about her poor temperament. Here's a clip of that TikToker sharing a little bit about what her dad had told her.
And a celebrity was rude to you.
Jennifer Lopez.
Same, and I'm going to try to tell them really quickly. 2 stories about Jennifer Lopez being an awful human being.
So number one, when she has drivers, the number one rule she has for them is they can't look at her, they can't talk to her, and her luggage is never allowed to touch the ground. If any of those things happen, she will go out of her way to make sure you get fired. Even if you have to look in the rear view mirror while you're driving, she will call that you trying to look at her and proceed to berate you. And I know this because my dad worked for that driving company, and he refused to drive her whenever she came in town because of how awful she treated the drivers. Second story, she was with Ben, I believe at MGM or whichever casino, and Ben's a great tipper and he respects service workers, and so he tipped a lot of people a lot of money that night. Jennifer goes around to each of those people and takes back the tip and gives them maybe $5-10, maybe. She is an awful person.
One thing I'll never understand is how people could be
That's
so
even
rich
worse
yet
than what I
such
was
a bad
thinking.
tipper, and why Jennifer Lopez is
Completely
so offended
worse.
that her man is tipping people. Like, I would feel happy, like, oh yeah, my man is a big baller, like he's tipping people, like that's kind of hot. But no, she sees it as some threat and would, have the balls to go and take the money back from someone who actually needs it. Several TikTokers have accused Jennifer Lopez of not tipping her wait staff, but 2 stories in particular take the cake. In a deleted TikTok, a woman who claims she served J-Lo and her husband Ben Affleck said they are notorious for not tipping servers. Quote, Ben Affleck has one of the worst reputations in the casino industry. We hate him. He's cheap and he's rude to other players. The woman claimed that Jennifer is known for being stingy, saying, quote, J-Lo tells Ben not to tip. Like, he's not tipping already, so you don't really need to remind him because don't worry, Ben's not going to be out here, handing extra bucks out anyways. So really weird dynamic between them two. Another woman, Penny, corroborated the notion of her being anti-tipping. She claimed that a woman she previously employed at a tavern in Las Vegas had a story about Ben while working in the casino. She claims that she spent one night serving Ben as he was at a poker table, not serving anybody else. Ben gave her an extremely generous tip of $10,000. However, once J-Lo caught wind of the tip, she allegedly snatched the money back. I can't imagine not tipping someone, or let alone giving a tip and then trying to take it back. It's just really
Not just
weird
that, but that's
behavior.
$10K.
That's
You
what
gonna
we
take
see
it from
from
me? I
Jennifer
would be
Lopez. Is weird
hated.
behavior and making
Pissed.
people uncomfortable. I mean,
Annoyed.
even people in the workplace, not even like service workers, but
Is it
people
even
she's
legal?
collaborating with, where they are made to feel less than because of her presence. Because Jennifer Lopez is so godly.
So I was going to a fashion institute in New York City, and I was interning for a stylist. J-Lo, even though I never actually saw her, she was probably the rudest and the biggest diva out of everyone. So all of a sudden, Jennifer Lopez's assistant comes in, and she tells everyone, you guys, you need to stay in this room. Do not come out. Jennifer Lopez does not want anyone looking at her or talking to her. I can understand if we were fans coming up to her like, oh my God, Jennifer Lopez, like, you look amazing and I have an autograph. Like, no, we were literally unpaid interns. The least you could do is be nice enough to grace us with your presence. So we literally had to sit in this showroom by ourselves. Couldn't go to the bathroom, couldn't go out to eat for like an hour because Jennifer Lopez didn't want anyone looking at her.
Something's not adding up. You're a big-time celebrity who wants to go on tour, but you don't want people looking at you. This person commented, J-Lo told me I couldn't wear hoop earrings because they were her thing. But it's not just servers, it's also those who work in the sky. Because Jennifer Lopez refused to respond to a flight attendant who spoke directly to her. A flight attendant told Star Magazine that J-Lo is a diva and doesn't speak directly to people outside her inner circle. She said, what can I get you to drink? But Jennifer refused to acknowledge her. She turned her head away and told her personal assistant, please tell him I'd like a Diet Coke. The United Airlines worker claimed she wouldn't even look at me. It was sad. She seemed so sweet in her movies. But clearly she's not this sweet person. And she thinks so low of you that she can't even respond to you and say that she'd want a Diet Coke. And it doesn't seem like she treats her own employees right, because Jennifer Lopez and Mark Anthony have twins. They're now in their teens, but they've had full-time nannies since they were kids. And apparently J-Lo requires her nannies to work grueling hours, because I'm sure these women are actually the people who are, in fact, raising her children. Quote, normally people who make large sums of money have loads of professional and social obligations to hire a nanny for each child, especially for newborns. But it is as if Jennifer expects one nanny not only to take care of both twins, but also to work 16-hour days, 7 days a week. Unsurprisingly, her first nanny she hired left just after a week of working for her. Quote, they hired a second nanny who was wonderful with the twins, but she couldn't take working such long hours without a break. So she ended up quitting a week after as well. So really, she can't keep any of these staff around.
breaks?
A woman on TikTok, Julia Wang, shared her story of meeting one of J-Lo's backup singers. Julia claims that the woman was part of the Vegas concert that J-Lo was performing. Well, Julia learned that J-Lo doesn't even acknowledge her background singers, who are probably doing most of the work, but it's really weird to think that she wants to put on these shows and to have these events and to have a presence on stage without having a connection with the people she's performing with, which is a big part of like what we see on stage and why we love great performers. I mean, you see the relationship Beyonce has with her dancers. I mean, J-Lo has so little respect for anyone else that she doesn't want any type of connection with anyone, which I wonder what trauma she had gone through to make her so cold.
So this girl, like I said earlier, I met her at a Tony Robbins event, and she was J-Lo's backup singer, backup vocalist. Her and all of the other backup singers decided not to come back because they said J-Lo was just straight up a mean girl. So we all know that J-Lo is like not the strongest singer, and obviously she knew that too, and that was like a huge insecurity for her. So she was so mean to her backup singers, and if you were pretty or if you were a Latina, like game over. Like she straight up hated you. J-Lo never once acknowledged them, never once even talked to them, honestly didn't even look at them, and she would just like roll her eyes at them, scoff at them, and yeah, just acted like a bully.
I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't like other Latino women. She seems like she's really anti-competitive. Like, no, you know what? Actually, it's not even about being competitive. She's very insecure. She can't handle the presence of someone else. She can't handle people looking at her. This person shared that J-Lo's demeanor does a 180 when a man walks into the room. She only treats the women poorly because she views them as competition. That's what I was just saying. You can see it. It's
That's
clear.
what I was just
It's
saying.
immature. Really, J-Lo? Grow up.
J-Lo would like transform into this completely different person whenever there was a man around, especially a man of importance. So she's like this.
And I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that. And not because I know J-Lo, but because I know Leo women. And no offense if you're a Leo woman. No offense at all. If anything, like, I get along with Leo women very well. But I have noticed this weirdness of how they act when a man comes around, or if a man is present, or if somebody else is present that's like more attractive than them, or like I've noticed it, I think once in my teens and like 3 times in my 20s, where it just made me feel like I never understood, because they're just such big personalities. But I remember this one time I was with a Leo woman, and this guy was hitting on me, and he was like out of town from New York, and we were like all drunk and like just on the street walking, whatever. And he stopped to talk to me, and I guess, I don't know what happened. I think she tried to interrupt, or she tried to say, I don't know, she tried to say something, and he just like went off on her, and he just looked at me and he was like, "That is not your friend." And I was like, okay, you guys are getting a little heated. Like, it's fine. You're leaving in 2 days anyway. Like, who cares? Like, I didn't care, right? Because it's like, I don't even like know this man. Like, I'm not even gonna, like, he's not even from here. You know what I mean? And he was just like, he pulled me aside and he was just like, "That woman is not your friend. Like, she like, I don't understand why she's even caring that I'm speaking to you. I'm not interested in her. I'm interested in you." And like, it was just getting sassy. And I remember I just stopped everything that was happening. I said, "Thank you so much for your interest. Have a good night." And I just left with her, because I was like, I don't need to have any of this that's happening. You know, like, it was just a really awkward situation to be in. And I didn't really understand what she said. Like, I can't even really remember, but whatever she said pissed him off and made him feel like, why would you say something like that when I'm not even talking to you? So I don't know. That's just me, my little 2 cents of experience and, you know, little zodiac sign astrology knowledge for you. But let me know if you've had any weird experiences like that. Not even just with Leo women, but just with like certain signs in general. But the way she just said that, it's just weird, because I was literally just thinking like, well, she is a Leo, so like, you gotta let them have the stage, you know, like that's how they like it.
Cold ice queen, but when there's a man around, she completely morphs into this like kind, friendly, loving, flirty persona. And she said her and like the backup vocalists were just stunned, because she just appears so genuine and authentic, but that's not really her.
The thing I can't get over is, why does she have so many issues with people looking at her? I mean, you see people like Kim Kardashian, and she is almost like begging for people to stare at her. One woman named Emily Watford shared her experience working at a concert arena where J-Lo performed. Emily said that a doorman made the mistake of looking at J-Lo. Instead of confronting the doorman, Jennifer started yelling at another staff member while he was standing in the same room. The guy was pissed off that Jennifer was making a big deal about him just giving her a glance. He said, "So much for Jenny from the block," she claimed he said. His comment was the last straw for J-Lo, who promptly had him fired. Which I think is really weird too. Like, it's very entitled of someone to think they could fire someone in an arena or in a space or for a, like, you know, on a company's behalf.
Like I have that much
own that
power.
Company. She doesn't own that arena that this guy's working at. Why does she think she can get someone fired? One waitress shared a tragic story that she had with Jennifer Lopez on Quora.
How many are
"I want to
there?
be nice. Simply put, she's a rude person that acts like she's so above anyone. I have had the unfortunate privilege of meeting her. A waiter and waitress would be very lucky if she tipped enough money to buy her damn CDs. I will never buy or contribute to her making more money to keep her cash register adding up. Truly unworthy. The general public doesn't know just how real she is. If they only knew, well, actually some of her fans may not even care. SMH.
I worked on the movie The Boy Next Door with her, and she played a teacher, and I was a student. And there was one day where we were filming outside at the school, and we were all on break, and she was sitting like across from me, kind of far, and she was sitting in like, you know, the actors' chairs. And she turns around, and how he said that she went like, "Hey," and turned around is exactly like what happened to me almost, and it just reminded me of the story. So she's sitting in the director's chair, she's facing away from me. She like turns around, she's leaning over the back of the chair, and she's like, "Jerry?" Jerry, is that you? And my friend was next to me, and she's like, oh, no, this is Gary. And she was like, oh, and turned around.
I am shook how many there are.
Now, it's not just normal people, citizens that Jennifer Lopez is pissing off. Not just our servers, our flight attendants, our wait staff, who else? I'm sure anyone, our stylist, her own dancers. It's not just these people. She's also caused issues with other celebrities, and she's had her fair share of celebrity feuds. Once, Jennifer said that Gwyneth Paltrow was hot by association. She said, tell me what she's been in. I swear to God, I don't remember anything she was in. Jennifer said about Gwyneth, some people get hot by association. I heard more about her and Brad Pitt than I ever heard about her work. And obviously that's a very shady comment to make towards another, woman in the industry and not really validating anything she's done. Jennifer said that she wasn't a fan of Winona Ryder. In a sit-down, she said that she was never a big fan of Winona Ryder, despite her being nominated for an Academy Awards 2 years in a row in the 90s. Jennifer said, in Hollywood, she's revered. She gets nominated for Oscars, but I've never heard anyone in the public or among my friends say, oh, I love her. Again, trying to just miss Winona Ryder as a fellow female entertainer and just kind of, I guess, make herself seem more relevant. Is that the goal that JLo is trying to achieve here? Because really, why would she want to make a fellow creator, singer, entertainer feel less than? Once upon a time, Jennifer accused Salma Hayek of lying about a role. Jennifer wasn't a fan of being compared to Salma Hayek, saying that they're in two different realms as performers. Quote, she's a sexy bombshell and those are the kind of roles that she does. Jennifer said, I do all kinds of different things. It makes me laugh when she says she got offered Selena, which is an outright lie. If that's what she does to get herself publicity, then that's her thing. She also...
Oh my God. You have got to be kidding. You're not even in the same league as her. It's the same thing I said in the last video with like Mariah Carey. It's just like you're literally not even in the same car, the same year, the same lane. It's not even the same color. It's a different flavor. It's just like, how could you even bring your, you know what? Let me be quiet because I really like her. So that's why I'm like, excuse me, don't even put yourself in the category. You don't even put yourself in her category. Have several seats.
Dragged Madonna's acting skills. Reports write, do I think she's a great performer? Jennifer said, yeah. Do I think she's a great actress? No. She said, acting is what I do. So I'm harder on people when they say, oh, I can do that. I can act. And I'm like, hey, don't spit on my craft. Which is interesting because Jennifer has gone between being an actress and being a singer. And she's really been in between these two that I really think like acting probably would have been best for her because singing hasn't turned out great. Plus, has she done anything original? When Jennifer was offered the opportunity to perform at the Super Bowl, she did not want to share the stage with Shakira. Reports claim that JLo did not hold back when it came to her opinion on sharing the stage. She said if it was going to be a double headliner, they should have given us 20 minutes. That's what they should have effing done, Jennifer was quoted saying. Jennifer said it was the worst idea in the world to share her performance with Shakira.
And what did I just say? You have to give Leo women the stage. If you don't, they're going to take it. Or they're going to complain about it. Like, I don't, that's just something that I've learned. Like, I don't know. But again, this is not me speaking of JLo. I'm just speaking of like my experience with Leo women. Like they kind of need like that, like larger than life kind of energy, and they need to be, they have to embody it. And if it doesn't feel that way in one way or another, it's going to come out, or it's going to be shown in one way or another, no matter what.
And it's interesting because Shakira is so talented. She's such a valid performer, songwriter, singer. She's so much more of a legit artist than JLo is.
I like the song she did with Cardi B.
It's the best choice to have someone like her on stage with JLo.
JLo, why are you suddenly talking so much shit? Right on the heels of referring to her Super Bowl performance with Shakira as the dumbest decision of all time, she is now insulting Shakira and referring to belly dancing as uncultural. I'm trying to give you something with substance, referring to that Super Bowl performance. Not just out there shaking our fucking asses and fucking belly dancing. Girlie, we all tuned in for Shakira and the belly dancing. I love you, JLo, but please stop. This isn't a good look.
So clearly, Jennifer talking so badly about everyone else in the industry isn't rubbing her fan base the right way. Sometimes we see like a Nicki Minaj talk crap about someone else and everyone gets all mad and they make sides, but really nobody's joining Jennifer's side. And it doesn't seem like she's taking the backlash well because Jennifer exploded with the paparazzi and made a rude gesture. Jennifer made headlines due to a controversial incident with a paparazzi. In a photo captured by the paparazzis, JLo showed her discontent and expressed her frustration in a particular way by making a rude gesture with her finger by flipping off the paparazzi.
I'm dead. How have I never seen a picture of J-Lo flipping off paparazzi? Where have I been?
Which I'm not going to do because I don't know, I'm such a good boy. I just feel like
I'm such a good boy.
The incident occurred while Jennifer was with her partner, Ben Affleck, on one of her regular visits to the McDonald's fast food restaurant chain. Well, she is cheap, so I could see her liking McDonald's. I mean, shoot, so McDonald's sounds so good right now. I'm hungry. The cameras caught the moment when Jennifer made her gesture towards the paparazzi. It's unclear what triggered this reaction. The incident has generated diverse opinions and reactions on social networks and in the media. Some support J-Lo for defending her privacy, while others criticize her rude gesture. Either way, Jennifer can go and flip off all the paparazzi she wants.
I just didn't know she
in her 50s.
had that in her. I didn't know she was doing that.
I don't really think it's cute. And now there's like rumor mill going on where everyone's talking about blind items of Jennifer being so terrible, so rude, and it really just doesn't seem like she could win. So, I mean, she needs to put her mirror, go in front of the mirror and flick herself off, because really, at this point, she's her own worst enemy.
Here's a blind item about J-Lo being very J-Lo. The A-list everything in her mind celebrity was shopping in NYC and told a salesperson to stop looking at her and to turn the other way. And this is allegedly J-Lo.
Now, because people are questioning Jennifer Lopez's every move, people are starting to question some of her products and some of the PR that she's been putting out. In December 2020, Jennifer Lopez made headlines when she insisted that the secret to her flawless complexion is olive oil. The star spoke out ahead of the launch of her J-Lo Beauty skincare with products such as that J-Lo Glow Serum. Speaking to Page 6 at the time, Jennifer said that olive oil is the secret that she's been using for years because it really does work. And maybe olive oil does work. I don't really know. I mean, leave in the comments below. Like, does it work? I don't know. Do you just put it on your skin all the time? Like, wouldn't that clog your pores? I'm not entirely sure. But olive oil is a very, basic and clean and true product that putting out a skincare line and just, telling everyone your secret is olive oil doesn't really seem like the two are adding up unless...
I don't think that even makes sense, because it doesn't matter what these celebrities say that they do with their skin. They have the resources and they have the money to get certain products that you just cannot buy. Like a cleanser that's $500, a moisturizer that's $100 plus, something else, an eye cream that's like $1,000. Like they can get these things that you can't, and they're not going to say this is what I've been using, because one, people are going to either buy it, try to buy it, or they want to keep it a secret anyway. You know what I mean? It's just... But, to each their own. I had the J-Lo perfume back in the day. I remember it was like the diamond bedazzled. I'll try to find a picture and put it up here. And I loved it. It was a great smell. It was beautiful. But it was also like the early 2000s. So, everybody loved J-Lo at that time. But buying something from J-Lo today in 2024? Why would I do that? Why would I do that?
So you're putting out your special olive oil line.
J-Lo's dropping a new skincare line, and her skin looks amazing, so she's doing something right. But she credits her youthful appearance to olive oil and sunscreen, leaving dermatologists worldwide skeptical and confused. When consumed, olive oil has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties that may have a benefit on the heart. But when applied to the skin, it may disrupt the skin barrier, lead to water loss, and clog pores, leading to acne. Also, olive oil is actually the food that yeast on your skin needs to grow, meaning that it can make dandruff, fungal acne, and tinea versicolor worse.
I mean, it makes me question whether Jennifer Lopez actually has used olive oil on her skin, because I feel like she's just like saying this and running with it, but not actually giving us the truth, because we
and what kind of olive oil? Is it $500? Probably.
A TikTok user decided to expose a trick when they uploaded one of Jennifer's recent social media posts and highlighted a moment where a filter glitched. So she had a filter on to make herself look better while promoting her product, but there was a moment where the filter went away and you could see what she really looked like. Now, I don't think that Jennifer Lopez has bad skin by any means, but you also must admit that it would be a lot better of an ad if her skin wasn't filtered and she showed what she was really working with. But of course, nobody wants to show the real side of themselves. So Jennifer noticed that the filter was glitching. She backed up and she made sure her skin was blurred for that TikTok.
You go to the gym without telling me you go to the gym. I'll go first. You go to the gym without telling me you go to the gym. I'll go first.
Oh, I see it.
Jennifer has maintained that she has never had Botox to this day. Quote, "I'm not that person. I don't have anything against people that do it. It's just not my thing. I'm more about a natural approach," which I respect, but I'm calling BS just because Botox is so easy. It's so, it's non-invasive. You can't really tell. I mean, she looks so good. Then maybe not Botox, but like a facelift. Clearly, there's something really inauthentic about Jennifer Lopez. The products that she has, the show she puts on, the relationship she has. I mean, there's something so unreal about it that it's kind of funny to see how hard she's been trying to tell us this entire time that she's real. She's really far from it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think we had hit 1 million subscribers at this point. So
yes, you did.
I am at Coachella. If you are at Coachella, say hi to me. I think we'll wear a cowboy hat at some point. If you want to follow the chaos, definitely check me out on Instagram at Sloan Hooks, and I'll see you in a new video soon. Bye, guys.
Bye. Have fun at Coachella. Wow. Wasn't expecting that. I don't know. I think I was just expecting like some generic mean things, but some of those are pretty damn harsh. They're pretty damn brutal. I'm not surprised, but I'm also surprised. This is the one that got me, is the went around taking tips and then replacing the tip. No, actually, if it was me, I would have recorded it in that moment, made sure it went viral, called TMZ, demanded and said, no, you can't take this. This is my tip. It's already in my possession. You can't take this now. If you take it, I'll call the police. And if you want to fire me because of that, or I get fired because of it, then that's fine. Like something would have happened, because I'm keeping that $100. I'm keeping that $100. You're not coming here to take my $100. Okay. You have 400 million over there. Leave me alone. Like, absolutely not. That is just freaking, that's just like, what do you get from it? What are you getting from that? Again, allegedly, if it's true, obviously I think it's true, but you know, what an interesting year this has been. You know, I didn't have take down JLo on my bingo card for 2024. I didn't at all, but I am curious to know what's going to happen with the reopening of the case that happened in the 90s with Diddy and JLo, because apparently that it's opened up, which I believe it already is opened up, but you can correct me on that if I'm wrong, and that JLo lied on the stand. So if she lied, that's obviously a felony and a crime. So I wonder how that's going to go. But also, at the end of the day, when you're sitting on billions, 400 million, just a lot of money, a lot of things can go away. So we'll see what happens. But if you made it all the way to the end, I would like to just thank you for your time. I really appreciate you hanging out and chilling and watching this with me. But yeah, if you did like it, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see y'all all in the next video. Because, my God, was I not expecting that? I'm going to read some comments. I will see you next time.
Is there more?